Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Alright everyone, hope you're all doing well. So I'm going to be making up for a bit of lost time on these videos coming up. In fact, I'm going to be uploading quite a few videos today. And quite a few of them will be based upon the current rankings. Now, I like to do this at least once a month just to keep all you guys in the loop as to what's going on. But of course, as always, I'll put a source in the description box. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the WBC heavyweight rankings. And in the next one, it'll be about the heavyweight rankings for WBA, IBF and WBO. And the reason that I'm doing them separately, because WBC is one title holder, which is Deontay Wilder. The other three, Andy Ruiz Jr. currently holds all those. So that's why I'm going to do two videos on this one. So we're going to start off with the WBC. Now, of course, Wilder is the champion. A lot of us believe Tyson Fury should be there because he did beat Deontay Wilder in most people's opinions. But that's not the fact, is it? The fact is Deontay Wilder still holds that title. So Wilder champion. Number 1, Dillian Whyte. 2, Tyson Fury. 3, Luis Ortiz. 4, Alexander Povetkin. 5, Adam Kownacki. 6, Joseph Parker. 7, Kubrat Pulev. 8, Oscar Rivas. 9, Derek Chisora. 10, Filip Hrgović. Number 11, Ajit Kabiel. 12, Joyce. 13, Dominic Brazil. 14, Michael Hunter. And 15, Charles Martin. Now, for those of you who haven't seen a video that I did about 2 days ago, Anthony Joshua is no longer ranked in the WBC because he's got a world title fight with Andy Ruiz Jr., a rematch on December 7th in Saudi Arabia. So if he was to defeat Andy Ruiz Jr., of course, he will then not only become a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, but he'll be a champion of a different organization, which means he can't then be ranked by WBC anyway. And if he was to lose, the WBC probably wouldn't rank him in the top 15 anyway, because that'd be 2 losses back to back. So that's why. Now, when we look down the list, for me, I don't have too much of an issue with the 15 that's there. I have an issue with some of the order, that is for sure. But overall, I think that WBC do have the better rankings. And while I am going to criticize this one as this video goes along, I'm going to destroy the other ones when we get into that video. Now, on this one, certainly Dillian Whyte, number 1, that's for sure. He is the mandatory and the interim world champion. That is for sure. And hopefully he manages to keep all that, everything going well with UK, British Box Border Control, etc., etc. And for those of you who don't know, Dillian Whyte has actually passed all VADA testing as well, okay? I have to keep on pointing that one out because it does seem that a lot of people overlook that point. Either way, Tyson Fury is number 2. Of course, he's fresh on a victory over Otto Wallin. Luis Ortiz, he's been elevated to number 3 because that's where Anthony Joshua was ranked previously. Luis Ortiz, who lost to Deontay Wilder only a year ago, has had 3 fights back against European level at best. Either way, he's keeping a number 3 position. In my opinion, I think WBC are doing that. So when Wilder rematches him, it's on paper, another credible win, right? Alexander Povetkin, number 4, sure, I can certainly see that one. Adam Kownacki, number 5, and Joseph Parker, number 6. I can agree with those kind of positions. Personally, I do feel that Povetkin, if he was to fight Ortiz, he'd beat Ortiz. So would Parker, and so would Adam Kownacki. Kubrat Pulev, again, it's almost a waste of a position, isn't it? Because Kubrat Pulev isn't going to fight the champion of the WBC. In fact, he's mandatory for the IBF. Okay, so he's set to take on the winner of Andy Ruiz Jr. and Anthony Joshua. So again, him being ranked in the WBC is almost a waste of a ranking. We could put it that way. Number 8, Oscar Rivas. Of course, he did lose to Dillian Whyte last time out. Number 9, Derek Chisora. He always manages to hang on to some kind of top 15 position with the WBC, doesn't he? He'll take a loss. He'll have a couple of average fights back. Then he'll take another loss. Then have a couple more average fights back. Then take another loss. So he's always there or thereabouts, isn't it? Either way, he's going to be taking on Joseph Parker not too far away now. So that would be a very interesting fight. Filip Hrgović, number 10. Now, he's a relatively new fighter as far as the professional game goes. And I know quite a few people, much like Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, he believes that Hrgović could well be the best heavyweight prospect out there and could potentially defeat a Deontay Wilder, etc. So time will tell with him, but at the minute he's looking real good. Ajit Kabiel, European heavyweight champion, or formerly, because he was supposed to fight Joyce, and then he pulled himself out of the purse bid on the final day of vacating the European heavyweight title. Okay, we still don't really understand why he's done that, but either way, he has. And is he going to fight anybody in the top 15 in WBC? Unlikely, in my opinion. Now, Joyce, he did get a victory over Bryant Jennings. Very, very close fight. And as I said there, he was supposed to take on Ajit Cabial. That didn't happen. But of course, now he's trying to chase a big baby Jarrell Miller, when really what he should be looking at is the guys above him in the WBC, if he is going that route. But of course, he is now a Frank Warren fighter, which means Frank Warren's probably going to try and push him on within the WBO rankings, which again we'll talk about in the next video. Dominic Breazeale, number 13. Listen, that guy shouldn't be ranked in the top 50 right now after that performance with Deontay Wilder, where everybody knew exactly what was going to happen, and he should have known, and his new trainer, Virgil Hunter, should have known what was going to happen. When Wilder throws that big punch, what you don't do is try and land a left hook. Okay, that was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Michael Hunter, I would imagine that maybe his position would have changed now, because last weekend he did defeat Sergey Kuzmin. Okay, so while these rankings don't automatically update themselves, they only update themselves really like once every 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so Michael Hunter, because of that victory, I would imagine he's probably going to be elevated by at least a position or two after that win. So right now he's holding on to number 14, but as I said, I do expect him to climb a little bit higher. And number 15, Charles Martin. What on earth is he doing in the top 15? In my opinion, he couldn't beat not one of those top 15 right now. He couldn't do it. All right, and there's quite a few fighters below that 15th position as well, who I believe would also beat Charles Martin. Don't get me wrong, Charles Martin's not a terrible fighter. Okay, a lot of people do see him as terrible because of what happened with Anthony Joshua. And of course, he has taken another loss to Adam Kanaki in a very, very good fight not so long ago as well. So he is a pretty good fighter, but he's just not a top 15 fighter in my opinion. But I believe that he's there because he's a PBC fighter. I mean, if you just look at the WBC top 15 rankings, look at the PBC fighters. Obviously, Wilder as the champion, Luis Ortiz, you've got Adam Kanaki, you've got, I think actually Cabial, is he part of them now? Or he might actually be part of Top Rank now. I'm not too sure. He's signed for somebody. I remember seeing something about it. Dominic Breazeale is PBC and Charles Martin is PBC. So the WBC and the PBC very, very well connected with each other, okay? But in my opinion, it's not a great rankings. I mean, I don't have too much of a problem with the top 15. I have an issue with some of the order, that's for sure. But I think we're always going to have that, okay? We're always going to have opinions no matter what order we put them in. If I was to do my top 15, a lot of you guys would disagree. It's just how the cookie crumbles as far as boxing is concerned. But again, when you look at it, Deontay Wilder, he has fought and defeated 2 of those top 15. Number 3, Luis Ortiz, and number 13, Dominic Breazeale. Compared to Anthony Joshua, where Anthony Joshua has beaten 5 of the top 15 just in the WBC alone, which is number 1, Dillian Whyte, number 4, Alexander Povetkin, number 6, Joseph Parker, number 13, Dominic Breazeale, and number 15, Charles Martin. So Joshua has done more as far as the WBC is concerned than what Deontay Wilder has. Again, that's not having a go at Wilder, that's just the fact of it. But listen, either way, it's not a bad ranking system. I can't complain too much. I said I don't believe Kubrat Pulev should be there because there ain't no way he's going to go fight a Tyson Fury, or he's going to go fight a Deontay Wilder or a Dillian Whyte. Okay, he isn't going to do that. Okay, he's going to wait for his opportunity with the IBF and fight the winner of Ruiz versus Joshua. So in my position, that is in my opinion even, that is a complete waste of a position. Much like Charles Martin shouldn't be in the top 15, in my opinion. And you could probably argue with Derek Chisora being there as well, especially in the top 10. Anyway, that's what's going on with the WBC. Of course, you drop me your thoughts below. Do you agree with me that there's not too much of an issue with the top 15? Maybe it's just an order. Or maybe you actually agree with the order. Maybe you think that Charles Martin is a top 15 fighter. For me, I think there's quite a few fighters out there who could quite comfortably beat him. In my opinion, I think Junior Farr is probably one of them as well. But anyway, listen, only time will tell. Will Charles Martin, will he fight any of these guys? Unlikely. I think Charles Martin will go fight maybe a top 50 rated fighter somewhere along the line. He seems to be almost the guy that they'll keep putting into the ring against lesser opposition. And when it's time for one of the PBC guys to have a big fight, they'll choose a Charles Martin. That's how I see it. And I fully expect that if Anthony Joshua defeats Andy Ruiz Jr., I would probably expect Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Charles Martin after. That's my opinion anyway. Listen, you drop me yours, of course. Click the thumbs up to this video and, of course, subscribe. And I'll catch you all on the next one.